All right, and welcome to the Planet X podcast. This is going to be your summer movie edition. I'm Chris,
And I'm Mike.
and we're gonna talk about pretty much everything that's coming out this summer. We're getting into that. We're in March.
Well, everything
now, so
that we're kind of interested in.
everything that we're kind of interested in. Not everything that's coming out.
Like,
There's some stuff we just don't give a rat's ass about. But we're hitting March. We've got it's starting to pick up. We've got a big release coming out in a couple weeks with Batman, Superman. But before we do that, we're gonna hit on a trailer that dropped last week, and we didn't get to talk about it last week because I think it dropped after we would have recorded, but we decided to take a week off because we're fucking lazy, and sometimes we just need a break. And but that was the Ghostbusters trailer.
We talked about this in our other show, the old show that we used to do, and I wasn't a huge fan of the idea, but I was giving it. I'm going to give this the opportunity. I'm going to let this movie get made, and I'm not going to judge it purely on, they're making Ghostbusters with women and it's going to be okay. I got beyond all that. I didn't even necessarily, I'm like, okay, let me see where this goes.
I was kind of in the same boat where I didn't care. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, it's women Ghostbusters. Well, I didn't care. As long as the movie is funny and the actresses in the movie are funny, and I've seen movies with pretty much everybody in it that's in that movie, and I've loved them. I thought they were great.
I to be that underwhelmed with the trailer.
Yeah, and I was gonna, and this is me just running out of time, but I'll dive into it now. I was gonna write a blog post about the trailer, but I didn't want to be like just completely hating on it, like it's all women, blah blah blah. I didn't want any of that shit. But for me, probably next to the Star Wars movies, Ghostbusters has such a special place in my heart. It's probably my favorite movie after all of those Star Wars films. It's one of those movies like I remember going with my dad to see. He said to me, say you want to, let's you and me go to the movies. What do you want to see? I wanted to see Ghostbusters. And we went and saw Ghostbusters. Didn't take my sister, didn't go with my mother, went with just me and dad. And that movie that movie hit on all cylinders. Great writing, the humor was funny, the actors were great, the story was fantastic. And this, I
will even go so far as to say, not only that I, same thing. I can remember going to see the first Ghostbusters movie, and then the whole, I guess, franchise of it, the movie, the song, the references. I mean, this day, even though it's old and hack, if I pick up a phone and somebody says, who are you going to call?
Yeah.
That just sticks with you. And then it had a quality cartoon series when we were kids. That was an enjoyable, well-done cartoon series. It had a sequel that at the time was not received well, but I think built momentum over the years. As it definitely was a movie that gained its life from cable.
Yeah, I don't have the same love for Ghostbusters 2 that I do the original Ghostbusters, but I still love the movie.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't, as I said, I don't have the same love as the first one, but there's stuff I quote from that movie all the fucking time.
Yeah. And it's lighter, it's whatever it is, but there was that series, and there's been this anticipation for 25 years for this next movie that they've talked about and teased and had concepts with 4 years, 4 decades, literally. Not 4 decades, but several decades.
Yeah.
And then we got this trailer, and it's a trailer that's supposed to be, here's the best parts of the movie that make you want to go see the movie. And I sat there and went,
I did the same thing. I was like, nothing in this makes me want to go see this movie.
And
we got and the other, like, not to cut you off, but like the other thing that I think, and this, we've talked about this with trailers, like all the time now, is like the cool shit in the trailer gets spoiled. It would have been fucking fantastic to not know that Slimer was in the movie.
Yeah,
it would have been great to be like, oh, holy, you're sitting in the, if we go to the movie theater and we see this, oh shit, there's Slimer. That's cool. But no, right there front and center in a goddamn trailer.
Yeah, we know. So it's beyond. And the thing for the movie that, when I saw some of the still pictures of the cast, and I'm like, oh no, they're not gonna. And for a movie that this is supposed to be a sequel, right?
I don't think it's supposed to have anything to do with the original films. I don't think it's a sequel. It's a reimagining, they're calling it.
I mean, the trailer.
The trailer starts out
years ago, and it talks. So it makes me think that it's a sequel, but the characters it's the same. They're not the same exact characters, but they're the same archetype of characters that you have. The tool for the room scientist, the dorky scientist, the really weird scientist, and then a black person who's not a scientist, who's the everyman.
And that was one of the things, like, I'm like, that was one of the first things I picked apart about the trailer, was the trailer says 30 years ago, 4 scientists. No. It was 3 scientists and just a guy.
And a guy that needed a job.
And that was a great part about the Winston character, was he was us. He was the guy being brought into that world. You had these 3 guys that were all into the, all into the paranormal and science and stuff. He was us. He was the audience, being part of the team.
And he had some, and then in with him not being in that first part of the movie, it sets up one thing, and then when he's there later, he has, in the later half of the movie, he has some of the best lines.
Yeah.
With the "I seen shit that'll turn you white," and "I seen, this ain't worth $36,000 a year." It's
tell them about the Twinkie.
Yeah,
I can't have a Twinkie or see a Twinkie and not think about tell them about the Twinkie.
So just to watch this thing, and there was, that Facebook meme has been all over the place now, where because in the trailer they kind of are rehashing the library scene, and they compare the ghost in the library scene to the ghost in the new trailer. And you're like, this is 32 years ago, and this looks pretty cool. And this is 2016, and this just looks like CGI crap.
Yeah.
And when you see, because that other one, that was a puppet, it was a puppet with an effect on it to make it look like the ghost. And it had dimension, and it had depth to it. And then when you see the picture of the new ghost, you're like, that's a animation, it's
yeah.
I know that movie, for as funny as it is, has some very good scary things in it. It's
absolutely
it's a great horror comedy, because there's actually legitimate things that you're scared of in the movie. The stuff with the hellhounds and in Dana's apartment, and the ghost in the library, and there's funny stuff, but there's also scary stuff, and it never delved. Even the second one that got goofier. It wasn't full on goofy, to a point. I mean, it had kind of become a cartoon at that point, where that second movie was almost a sequel to the, TV show as much as it was to the film. But this just has, it has nothing for something I've been waiting for almost 30 years to be like, I'm just for nothing out of the trailer to be like, I'm kind of interested in that. And I'm sure there's going to be some, because of the actors in it, there's going to be some funny things. But I don't know what it's trying to be. And I feel like they just slapped the name on something, or they're remade. They've remade a movie that everybody was waiting for a sequel for.
Yeah.
And we had a big discussion about this probably 2 years ago. We talked about, I think it was a Nazis Got Your Mom.
It might have been a Nazis
where
Got Your
we
Mom.
said, would you prefer a third Ghostbusters movie or a Ghostbusters reboot? And
I would think I was pretty adamant third Ghostbusters movie.
With this movie, the way it had kind of been advertised, I was thinking, all right, this is a third Ghostbusters movie. And then when I saw the trailer, I'm like, this is a reboot. And it's almost like I'm not going to say it's a scene for scene reboot, but it's not even like, there's not much original to it.
No, and even like some of like the jokes that they showed in the trailer, like, Melissa McCarthy getting possessed and her head turning around. That's been done 100 times over.
Yeah,
that's so many different movies.
That felt like a scary movie gag. That felt like it was
that's almost what this whole movie feels like. It feels like it should just be a scary movie, not a Ghostbusters film.
Like, did you ever see Repossessed? Early 90s. It was a spoof on The Exorcist, where they actually had Linda Blair. Linda Blair reprised her role as Reagan, and Leslie Nielsen was the priest. And it was just Exorcist comedy gags.
Yeah.
And that, the head spinning around thing, made me think of that it wasn't. Yeah, I'm like, this isn't a joke. This is now, it's parody of a different movie.
Yeah.
Because they didn't, they had, in the original, they had that, the succubus scene.
Yeah. Which got cut somewhat.
Yeah.
to get it, the rating that it got. But
that was an hysterical, and it was original, and it was, and now to do it's 2016, and you're doing a movie with the possessed head turning around joke in it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. I wanted to like it. I wanted to see this trailer and be like, I got to see this movie. This is going to be one of the movies I got to see this summer. It didn't do it for me at all.
Yeah.
And like, I don't hate the actresses that are in the movie. I'm not faulting really any of them, for how I don't want to see this movie. Because as I said, I've seen Kristen Wiig and stuff that I've loved. Melissa McCarthy, another one. Like, I don't love everything she does, but I've seen her in stuff that hey, this is pretty good. This is pretty funny. The other two I don't really know. I know the one, like the black woman I know is on Saturday Night Live. The other one I can't quite place, but that's just because I can't remember her name now.
Yeah.
But like even you have the cast is really, they just took the cast of the original Ghostbusters and just made them all female, and then they're even with the black woman that's in the trailer, they're kind of making her just like that over the top black character. It's like, why? Why do you need that? Why can't she be, why can't she be one of the scientists?
Yeah, it's
that was one of the first things I thought. It's like, okay, all the white women are the scientists, and then you got the black woman's the transit cop or the whatever. Really? Have Melissa McCarthy being the one working the subway. It's so much wrong with it.
Yeah, maybe it'll be funny, but from what I've seen, maybe they're going to recut another trailer. Maybe they're going to change some things. Maybe it doesn't come out until July.
Yeah, that was the other thing. It's like, okay, I thought this was coming out early summer, but it's not coming out until July. And I think looking at the list that we're going to go over in a little bit, it's going up against nothing.
Yeah. And what's going on? They're shooting another Ghostbusters movie that has nothing to do with this Ghostbusters movie now.
Really?
I had heard that there's going to be an all male cast Ghostbuster movie.
What in the actual fuck is going on? I can't. I don't have the energy.
And it almost seemed like
energy.
Like it was in response to everybody going, well, I don't want to see this Ghostbusters. But I just don't.
I don't. Wow. I had no idea they were talking about doing another one that doesn't have anything to do with this Ghostbusters.
I had heard that. I mean, maybe that went away, but and I'm looking on IMDb now to see if it even says anything about it. Ghostbusters 2016 to 84, 86 TV series, Ghostbusters 2, 89, video game. There's a Ghostbusters in development. Projects categorized as in development. Yeah, so I guess it's just and this is IMDb, which means nothing. But there has been at least rumors that they're making a different, that they're going to do like a Paul Rudd,
Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like that other Ghostbusters that everybody wanted to see.
Yeah.
Or the Ghostbusters that everybody was like, oh, it's going to be like Seth Rogen and Paul Rudd. And everybody was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. And then when everybody lost their mind about the female Ghostbusters, and I try real hard to be somebody. I feel, especially the internet, is so harsh on female performers, whether they're actors, whether they're singers, just that like they're held to a different standard, because it's like, all right, you got to be pretty, you got to be thin, you got to be, but then it's, the amount of we've talked about this in the past, like how the longevity of female singers seems like they only have a window for so long. And then it just kind of becomes like they don't necessarily lose any talent. It's just kind of like they're not the flavor of the month, or they're not in that like 24 to 30 range of where you can sell it.
Yeah.
And I think there's definitely a difference between a female comedian's sense of humor and a male comedian's sense of humor. There's a different perspective on
absolutely.
It. And I probably used to be more of I like male comics, but there were always female comics I did like. And I think maybe just because there were more male comics, you started to think, well, men are funnier than women. But, as I was starting to think, and it might have had to do with some of the Amy Schumer stuff that came up and the criticism that she was getting. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm like, there was always female comics around that I liked, and like Joan Rivers and Whoopi Goldberg and Rita Rudner and people that were always around, Paula Poundstone, and the the extra criticism they got even then in days before the internet, and now it's blown up. And I don't want to feel, with this Ghostbusters movie, I'm like, I don't want to jump on it I don't like female, I don't want to see female women trying to be funny. And I also don't want to jump on the I hate remakes feel, because I don't necessarily hate remakes.
I don't want
that I've enjoyed.
I don't want to jump on that either. And I don't want this rant that we're going on to come across as being like, hey, we don't want female Ghostbusters. It's not that at all. Because as I've said, over the past 15 minutes or so, I've seen all of those actresses in something. I've loved them in it. I've thought they were funny. It's just the movie just looks like garbage.
Just looks like a shitty movie.
I think if they would have done it with a male cast, same movie, I think it would still look like shit.
I tell people all the time, and I've actually gotten, people have been like, really? You thought that was funny? One of the funniest movies I've seen in the past couple of years, and I had it on a DVD, and I finally watched it, I'll say within the past 6 to 9 months, was The Heat with Melissa McCarthy and Sandra Bullock.
I've heard that was actually pretty funny.
I laughed my ass off at the stupid movie. And it was a buddy cop movie that happened to be, and it was one of those things that it probably would have worked if it was, Chris Rock and Seth Rogen again, or just, I think the gags were there, and funny is funny no matter who's doing it. But this Ghostbusters trailer, it just looks like a shitty movie.
Yeah. Yeah, and it really just looks like I forget who directed it. Was it Paul Feig or whatever his name is? Like whoever wrote it just kind of just must have sat down on a Saturday afternoon and saw, oh, Ghostbusters is on. Let me rewrite let's remake this movie. And he almost, as we said, it's almost scene for scene the original Ghostbusters.
And one of the things that it kind of does, and I think he gets criticism for that some of these directors and these writers get criticism for is, all right, you're just making a movie where you're having women say kind of gross things, and that's supposed to be funny, and I liked Bridesmaids, and I thought Bridesmaids was funny. I don't think it was one of the best comedies ever made.
I was pleasantly surprised by Bridesmaids.
Yeah. But in this trailer, it's like, with the ghost puking on Kristen Wiig, and then she's doing it got in every crevice. It's like, all right, you're trying to do I kind of see the joke you're going for. You're going for a dirty joke. I mean, it's not like it's veiled. It's heavy-handed, but I don't. It just seems it's done already. That joke was old the second it came out of her mouth.
And agreed. And not, and again, not to, but I mean, and this is actually to do this, to go back and how great the original Ghostbusters was. He slimed me is all that needs to be said. Not, you don't hear Venkman going, it got everywhere. It's he slimed me. I feel so funky.
And just the thing, and then just laying there and then
Egon going great, and Ray's all excited because Venkman got slimed. It's like, great, save some for me. I don't know why they needed to go there with that. But I guess that's just kind of the lowbrow humor we're kind of accustomed to these days as well.
And I enjoy lowbrow humor for the most part. But
I just watched Trainwreck over the weekend. I
haven't seen that yet. We were talking the Amy show, yes.
It was hysterical. Way too much John Cena. Way too much John Cena.
John Cena has a big part in it.
He has a funny as fuck though. But there was that stuff happening, and it works in that, kind of that respect. But you just don't, and it was at times it was lowbrow, but it wasn't. I guess it just wasn't like this scene in the Ghostbusters trailer. Just seems like it's trying too hard.
Yeah, the whole thing seems like that. As and as I'm flipping through the summer movie list.
Okay.
And we'll get off beating up Ghostbusters because I also kind of feel like everybody's beating up that trailer.
Yeah, I kind of feel like everybody is too, and that's.
But that's one of those signs when everybody looks at something and goes, it's
prime example, the most recent Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah.
That,
and the thing is,
we saw the trailer and we all went, "Oh, that
was the third Fantastic Four movie, and you've never really had a beloved Fantastic Four movie." And this is there because this people have something to hold it against, and it's just disappointing. And I'm looking at, and again, there's a ton of sequels and a ton of remakes and things I didn't even know were getting a sequel until recently.
Okay.
Like My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for that, and I'm not really a big fan of the original My Big Fat Greek Wedding. But even like in the trailer for that, it's like all the same jokes again.
It seems like it. I think, because there was a big enough gap in there, I feel like she had enough time to like write some stuff that might be original that's just not there.
Yeah.
Because that movie just had, that was such a weird movie in that everybody liked it and nobody's really sure why. I think what that movie did, and what I have a feeling that the sequel will probably do, is it touches on that family stuff that you don't necessarily have to be Greek, but you just have to have some kind of a family.
Yeah, there was stuff that like in those movies, like I that first movie I watched, I went, all right, that's I've been in that position, or I've seen somebody in that, but again, that's coming out. That's coming out the same day as the other movie that is either getting loved by everybody on the internet or trashed by everybody on the internet, and that's Batman Superman, which I'm still up in the air about, and that's coming out in 3 weeks now, I guess. So that's.
The Batman Superman thing I'm eager for, and I'm actually really psyched about that because it's a movie I keep saying it's a movie I've been waiting for. And,
absolutely.
And I feel because there's been so much hype and talk about it over the past 2 years, I'm kind of like tired of talking about it in this forum.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too.
But I guess I really want to see the movie. And once I do see the movie, like I don't want to sit here and nitpick every little piece of a new trailer or new footage that shows up. I'm interested, and I'm anxiously awaiting the movie. Right now, it's the movie I'm looking the most forward to this year.
And that's kind of, I'm just using that as kind of the summer movie kickoff kind of.
Yeah.
And it's early for a summer movie kickoff, but there was so much other stuff coming out that they had to move it up to March. After that, we've got kind of a quiet.
Well, I'm looking at April, and this kind of surprises me that there's a third Ring movie, which I had no idea that they were working on.
Yeah.
Because it's been 12 years since the last Ring movie, maybe more.
Yeah.
There's
a new Amityville movie.
Yeah, an Amityville prequel.
Yeah.
Which I think is going to deal with which I had read someplace it might tie into one of the other horror franchises out there, one of the other haunting franchises.
Okay.
But I don't know if that was just bullshit or if it's just because it's owned by the same people. But the rest of April, it's kind of like there's nothing that's standing out.
I mean, the middle of April, live action Jungle Book, which, could be interesting.
You know what? I was looking at the wrong thing. I didn't see live action Jungle Book. I'm interested in, and with watching the trailer for live action Jungle Book, and I was talking to my wife about this. The movie I want to see made now that they can do a live action Jungle Book that looks like that is live action Tailspin.
Yes.
How awesome would a live action Tailspin movie be?
That would be so awesome. That would be so awesome.
A realistic bear in a pilot's cap flying a plane, getting shot at by air pirates that are other various anthropomorphic animals.
That would be so awesome. I would see that I would watch that over and over and over again.
And the little bear that rode that
the little space surfboard or the little air surfboard or whatever. Yeah. Such a great book. Such a great show.
And I was obsessed with the thought of that for a day. I'm just like, live action Tailspin. I'm like, call Disney right now. It writes itself.
It does. It absolutely writes itself. So we'll jump off April being kind of quiet as far as stuff we'd be into.
Well, another weird sequel in April is that Huntsman, the Snow White and the Huntsman sequel. Is
that what that is?
Yeah. It's Chris Hemsworth again as the Huntsman.
I just saw the Huntsman Winter's War, and I'm like, all right. I don't know what that was.
It's a sequel to Snow White and the Huntsman, but it has no Snow White.
Yeah. All right. Don't care.
Yeah, that's. And I mean, it's really just kind of like Thor light.
Yeah.
Charlize Theron is in it. Oh, and so is Nick Frost.
Nice. But so that's April. Then things start picking up.
Well, before you get out of April, the other one, the other movie that I kind of was like, this looks like it might be funny. I'm looking forward to that. Is Keanu?
Okay. Please tell me it's about Keanu Reeves.
No, it's better.
Better?
It's about a cat named Keanu that Key and Peele lose, and they need to get it back.
Okay.
Drug dealers.
Okay.
Key and Peele star in this comedy as two friends posing as drug dealers to get back a stolen cat. That's
all right. That might work. That might be fun.
So I'm kind of psyched for that, and I really hope that Key and Peele, have a hit with this.
Yeah.
Because those guys, I enjoy their stuff, and they just seem like good-natured guys.
Yeah, I loved their show.
Yes.
So, are we good to go into May now?
Let's go into May now. Yeah.
May does start off with a bang. We get Captain America: Civil War, which probably should make all the money in May.
Yeah, it's and I don't know how it's a Captain. It's like all the Avengers. It's more Avengers, I think, than have been in any other Avengers movie.
Yeah, we've got superheroes. We've got superheroes showing up in this movie that haven't been in a Marvel movie yet.
Yeah, there's superheroes falling out the ass in this one. This is.
But I guess in a way you kind of have to make the story work.
From the story that they're taking from the comics, you got to have a lot of characters in it. So I'm interested to see how that plays out, and I'm psyched for that one too. That and the Superman Batman movie, which, if you kind of think about it, are very similar.
Yeah. Yeah, they kind of are. After that,
I'm looking at Neighbors 2 here, where I saw the trailer for
Sorority Rising. I haven't seen the trailers for that yet.
I didn't see the first Neighbors.
I've seen bits and pieces of it. What I saw was funny.
I heard I didn't like that. That's an example of a movie that the trailer I didn't necessarily like, except for the De Niro bit when all the guys were being Robert De Niro. I kind of thought that was funny.
Yeah.
But then I've heard good things about it, so I might have to look into it. This other one, from what I've heard, it's just one of those things where we're doing all the same jokes again, but now there's girls.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Yeah, this. I mean, it almost feels like it's Revenge of the Nerds. Meets, it feels like it should have been an 80s movie for some reason.
Yeah. We've also got an Angry Birds movie coming out, which I don't really know how that's going to work, but
yeah,
right. There's. I mean, that's a kid. That the kids are gonna love that. Then the last weekend in May, we've got the Alice in Wonderland sequel, Alice Through the Looking Glass, as well as the new X-Men movie, X-Men Apocalypse. Both look pretty decent. I'm probably a little more on for X-Men Apocalypse than anything else, but
yeah, Alice in Wonderland just kind of seems like one of those things that I'll watch one weekend at home.
Yeah.
Which is what I did with the first one. It was, I was interested in it, but I'm like, I'll see it when it comes out. Oh, and Burton's not directing it. I just
oh, he's not?
Yeah, I just opened that up. It's James Bobbin. Oh, I can't. Oh, here is
I don't know him.
He did Muppets Most Wanted. He did the Muppets, the most recent Muppets movies.
Okay.
So, all right, he has done some stuff that I've enjoyed.
Okay.
So.
All right. No.
And then there's that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sequel that I'm actually more looking forward to than the first Michael Bay Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, just because I'm interested to see what they're gonna do. That this has got Bebop, Rocksteady, Krang. It's got Casey Jones. It's got it's got Baxter Stockman. They're trying real hard.
It's got all the stuff. It's got all the stuff that we've wanted to see. That we've kind of wanted to see in Ninja Turtles movies for a while now.
But I kind of thought, I'm like, there's a lot of stuff I wanted to see in those Transformers movies, like Skyjet and Grimlock and Devastator
but we got all that. I'm directly under his testicles. Moving on.
Oh, I got the coolest T-shirt.
Okay.
It was one of those one-day only shirts on the net. It's
Is it the Guns N' Roses Devastator shirt?
It's the Guns N' Roses Devastator shirt.
I saw that pop on there. I'm like, I gotta order that when I get home, and I fucking forgot all about it. Like, son of a bitch.
I'm sorry, I should have got two.
That's all right.
It is the Guns N' Roses cross with the different Constructicons heads on it, and it says, and it's got Devastator actually in the background.
And it says Appetite for Construction?
It says Appetite for Construction.
That's so awesome. It's so awesome.
I was so happy. I was like...
Yeah, I was on that site like a day or so later, and it was like retired shirts, and that was the first one that popped up. I'm like, God damn it!
Well, I got it. If I die, you can have it.
All right, cool. I'm holding you to that. It's on the internet now. It's
out there. Yes.
You know, Mike dies under mysterious circumstances. You know.
Yes. Damn it! Don't kill me for my awesome Devastator shirt.
I won't kill you for your awesome Devastator shirt.
It was one of those, you know, it's one of those things that I had to explain it to my wife. And I'm like, it was a boy cartoon. You know,
it was a boy cartoon.
I don't know, it's Devastator. It's the coolest. You know, after Starscream, Megatron, and Shockwave, the coolest Decepticon is Devastator and the Constructicon.
Devastator, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Devastator was the coolest combiner of them all.
Oh, definitely, because he was the first one.
He was the first one.
You know, he's up there as like Voltron, as you know.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about robots that form together from other smaller robots and how cool they are, Voltron's number one. Lion Voltron is number one, not Vehicle.
Not Vehicle Voltron. That was just Vehicle Voltron was just too fucking confusing. There were like 37 of them.
Yes,
it just never worked.
It's just like a stack of cars fighting monsters in space.
But we're getting off topic here.
We're way off. We're supposed to be talking about summer movies, and you got me talking about Vehicle Voltron. God damn it.
Yeah, we'll have to do a whole just Voltron show and just bitch about Vehicle Voltron for an hour.
Next week, our show is going to be about combining robots.
That would be an awesome show.
All right, where were we?
June 10th.
Now You See Me 2 and The Conjuring 2, two movies that I didn't see.
Yeah, and the Warcraft movie, which I don't care about at all.
Oh my god, I saw that trailer. I was bored to tears with the trailer, and and I love a like sword and sorcerer movie. I never played World of Warcraft. I played the original Warcraft. That was a completely different type of game.
Dungeons and Dragons.
I played that too, but I don't know if it's because of the animation, or I don't know. Because is it live action? Is it animation? The trolls are so animated that I honestly can't remember if it's a cartoon.
I think it's live action with CGI trolls or ogres or whatever.
Yeah, you're right.
I've never played any of the Warcraft games. It's just not, you know, not saying anything against people that play the Warcraft games. I know it's popular as all hell. It's a good game. It's just not my thing. But
Duncan
the movie,
Jones directed it.
Who did?
Duncan Jones.
Oh. But yeah, it's just there's nothing about that makes me want to go out and see that movie. And I saw the trailer like I think every time I saw The Force Awakens.
Yeah, I kept seeing the trailer and I'm like, maybe it'll be good. Ooh, Clancy Brown is in it, and I think just whenever you make a movie like this, you're required to have Clancy Brown.
You have to put Clancy Brown in it.
So there you go. You know, you'll just go see it just to see Clancy Brown.
Just to see Clancy Brown.
Because you're a Highlander guy, even though you're a Highlander TV show guy, not necessarily a Highlander movie guy.
No, I was a Highlander movie guy before I was a Highlander TV show guy. Which I knew Highlander was on last weekend on like Spike, and I said, I'm like, oh, I haven't seen Highlander. I haven't watched Highlander in forever. And I sat down and watched it. And it was quoting line for line. My mother walked in because my mother came out to visit, and she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just watching Highlander. She says, oh, say no more. By the way, she's like, you're watching Highlander? Buy a trunk for you. I was like, cool. Because, you know, why not? But after that, we've got Finding Dory, which is there's a sequel to Finding Nemo. This is just a summer of fucking sequels, man.
Yeah, sequels or a reboot of something. You know, they kind of been saying that, but this one, it just really seems like, oh, they're doing another. Because leading up to that, it's like, oh, there's a Tarzan movie coming out too. Man. You know, I feel like every 12 years they have to make a Tarzan movie or something.
I think so.
Otherwise, Hollywood loses their license to make movies if they don't make a Tarzan movie.
Something like that.
You know, I had a real quick about Finding Dory, and this doesn't necessarily have to do anything with Finding Dory, only loosely. I was having some beers after work today with my buddy, and he goes, my youngest kid, he wants to know if we can go on vacation to Burbank, California. And I'm like, what the hell's in Burbank? He's like, there's not like Disneyland or anything. And I'm thinking about it in my mind as a little kid. Why I would want to go to Burbank, California, was to be on The Price is Right.
Okay.
He wants to go to be on Ellen DeGeneres.
Okay.
Or I'm like, I could see it. I'm like, that's it. You know, if you're a kid, you're home, you watch some Ellen DeGeneres, it looks like a fun time.
Yeah.
You know, she's Dory. She sings, she dances, or she doesn't sing, she dances. She does jokes. She does. I'm like, okay, go to Burbank. See Ellen. I guess that's the thing.
I mean, I would, if I was out in Burbank for some reason and, I had nothing else to do, I'd probably go see the Ellen show.
And, I feel like anytime Albert Brooks is involved in a movie, you have to watch it because Albert Brooks is just so fucking funny.
Yeah.
I missed it recently, and I got to look for it. It was on the radio the other day. Dave Coulier was promoting some tour dates now because his newfound or refound fame after Fuller House, and people, he's getting himself back out there.
Yeah.
Or at least promoting his gigs more. But he was doing impersonations, and apparently one of the impersonations that he did was Albert Brooks having a conversation with Super Dave Osborne.
Okay.
Now, unbeknownst to a lot of people, as Albert Brooks and Super Dave Osborne are brothers. They're both they're the Einstein brothers. Because Albert Brooks' real last name is Einstein.
Yeah.
Which, yes, would make him Albert Einstein.
You kind of can't use that as a that name's kind of been taken.
Well, it's kind of tough to live up to, probably, too.
It's like, tough name to live up to.
And then you're like, all right, I'm you're like, oh, Albert Einstein, or you put yourself in Super Dave's shoes and be like, I'm Dave Einstein.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
That's it. I don't even think his real name's Dave. I think his name's Bob. But anyway, he's just like, I could be wrong. But anyway, that's I don't know. I digress again into now I'm talking about
totally. But it was kind of related to Finding Dory, which I'm kind of on the fence about. I'm like, I enjoyed the first Finding Nemo. This one I can kind of take or leave, I think. I mean, I'll probably see it at some.
Yeah, Pixar sequels now aren't the sure thing that they used to be. So,
and then a week after that, we've got another sequel. A sequel that I don't really know that anybody was really asking for.
Yeah. Yeah. Independence Day.
Independence Day Resurgence.
And this is one of those movies that they were trying to make for a long time.
Yeah. And it's another one that's just kind of on the list. And I'm like, I just don't care. And I was another one. Saw the trailer a couple of the times I went and saw Force Awakens. And there's just nothing about it that I'm like, I need to see this movie.
Independence Day, the original one, is even a weird movie.
It didn't hold up very well.
Yeah, there's parts of it that I absolutely hate. There's parts of it that I love, and maybe because it's one of those movies that's on TV all the time. And I guess you're right that it doesn't hold up because some movies can be on. I like to say that in the summertime on a Saturday night, you can flip around and you're either going to find Alien, one of the Alien movies, one of the Predator movies, or Independence Day.
Yeah.
If not two of them on at one point or another. If you flip through the cable channels every Saturday night in the summer, you will find one of those movies. And out of the, I could watch, I'll watch Predator. I'll watch Alien or Aliens over and over again. Some of the other Alien movies, maybe I could skip. Alien 4, I always had a weird affinity for.
I liked Alien 4.
I like Alien 4. Alien 3, I can.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily hate it, but it doesn't have the same rewatchability to me. But Independence Day, it's like there's parts I'm like, oh, I love this part. And then there's like, oh, I hate this part. And I always say that Randy Quaid's line at the end of Independence Day, his dying line, ruins the movie for me.
Yeah. I'll agree with that.
The Up Yours line is literally, it's one of the biggest douche chill, like, And I remember like watching the movie, and I was so psyched in it, I got all bought into that movie. Because you got to remember when that came out, it was like, we hadn't had a big space epic in a long time.
Yeah.
So it was like, here's a cool movie with fighter jets fighting spaceships. And then with that, I was just like,
it just kind of took the whole movie. You kind of just, really? You went there?
Yeah, it sucks the wind out of me. Yeah. And then there's the Tarzan movie, and there's another Purge movie, which will be the third Purge movie. And then I think also this summer there's a Purge comedy.
Yes, I saw that, and I think that's what that is, actually. I think Purge election year, I think, is the comedy.
I don't think so.
I thought it was. I could have sworn I saw and that's.
I didn't think the Purge. I think they call it the Purge, but
I got loud. Cruising down the street.
That did go.
My favorite movies. They're movies.
This is a commercial for other things. And that's a long ass commercial that I can't skip. But I thought it was called something else. Like they call it the Purge in the movie, but the movie itself wasn't the Purge.
Okay.
I don't remember seeing this because this Purge, it's got Frank Garallo, the guy that's Crossbones in Captain America.
All right, I'm kind of scrolling down the list here to see if I see anything that. No, nothing. I know the one I know there is a Purge type comedy out there. But
Yeah,
I can't remember what the hell the name
I
of it
think
is
the
now.
Wayans brothers are involved in it at some level.
Probably.
Yeah, it's not on anything else on any of these lists that I have. But I did say there's like 2 Purge movies this year.
Yeah.
And one is real and one is is a goofy one.
After that, the week after that, there's a movie that it's a kids movie. They probably showed the funniest scene in the entire movie in the trailer, and that's The Secret Life of Pets. And there's this one clip in the trailer where, there's this dog, it's a poodle or whatever, and the owner leaves and the dog turns on the stereo and it's Bounce by System of a Down. Yes. Probably the funniest scene in the entire movie. After that, I don't care. I saw the trailer. I don't need to see it.
I think Louis C.K. is involved in
I
that
think Louis
movie,
C.K. is involved in that.
So I have hopes for it at that level.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. I don't know if I'm going to rush out and see it, though. Week after that is Ghostbusters, which we talked about a lot. And then the week after that, we've got 2 more sequels. Another Ice Age movie, and then the new Star Trek.
Another Ice Age movie. Dennis Leary literally said it's like they're just paying me.
Yeah, and good for him.
He's like, I'm putting wings on my house. It's
yeah.
But how many Ice Age movies has there been?
That's got to be like 5 or 6 at this point. It's got to be at least.
Yeah,
I think there's a new Ice Age movie. Like there might be an Ice Age movie twice a year.
It's not even like they do them that often because the first Ice Age movie came out like 15 years ago.
I know, but it just feels like every time I turn around, there's a new Ice Age movie. There's a new Jason Bourne movie coming out the week after that, which that looks, from what I've seen, that looked pretty solid.
I'm a few behind on. I really liked the Bourne movies, and I just kind of accidentally fell behind on my Bourne movies.
By August we finally get Suicide Squad, which is another one I'm still kind of on the fence about.
Yeah, I almost feel like Suicide Squad is going to be predicated by what Batman Superman does.
Yeah.
And I guess it's one of those. It's not all your eggs in one basket because I'm sure both movies will do well, but I don't know how good they're going to be. I guess is the big thing. And I still am. For some reason today, I just kind of thought about it, and I'm like, oh, the look of the Joker just pisses me off.
Yeah, and then we this is going back to our previous show. That whole thing with the Joker coming out, and the pictures of the Joker, and everybody was just all up in arms, and then DC coming and Warner Brothers coming out and saying that's not the real look of the Joker. Yeah, it is. Like it just looks. It just pisses me off so much. So much.
Well, I guess if stuff like this comes out and doesn't do that well, it will lead to movies that follow the source material more, being made. If those do well and the crap doesn't.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm hoping that a trend has now started where movies will start, these movies that are based on books and comic books and whatnot will start following the source material a little closer now that there was a movie that came out a couple weeks ago that did really well, that did that.
Nah, I feel like that movie's just going to cause other superhero movies to have dick jokes in them.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I mean, that again, and it was a couple weeks after that, a week or two after that. The movie hasn't even come out yet, and they've announced that the Blu-ray version of Batman Superman is going to be rated R.
Well, yeah, there's going to be an R-rated cut, which just means it's going to have. I heard somebody explain that the best. They're like, that just means there's going to be one part where Batman goes, "Oh fuck," before something hits him. Yeah.
But it just kind of, and this is that could have been planned all along, but it just kind of the timing of that announcement was kind of like, oh, okay. The Deadpool movie did really well, and that was rated R. So let's get some more R-rated superheroes.
Yeah.
So that Suicide Squad's early August. There's a Ben-Hur movie coming out. I don't even know if that's a remake of Ben-Hur or if they're like re-releasing Ben-Hur.
It could be. Is it 60 years for Ben-Hur?
It might be.
Because that was mid-50, or was that even...
Yeah, I don't know the year on that. But then that same week is another one of those movies that Disney is putting out that just pisses me off. And that's the live action Pete's Dragon, which technically the original Pete's Dragon was a live action, I guess. But this one just, I don't know if you've seen the trailer for that one yet either.
I haven't seen the trailer. I'm kind of avoiding it because
I watched it again. I watched it against my better judgment, and it was what I expected.
Oh, this is a new Ben-Hur movie.
Interesting.
And it must be a foreign movie because I don't know a soul. Oh, here we go. Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
It was way down there. This will be the 5th screen adaptation of the novel, Ben-Hur.
Wow.
Well, you talk about what I love shit like this when people are always like, everything's a remake now. It's not like it used to be. The Ben-Hur that everybody knows came out in 1959. That was the 3rd time they made Ben-Hur.
And back then, when they would remake a movie a year later.
Oh, just about.
You know,
the Maltese Falcon was like the one with Humphrey Bogart was a remake of like a movie from like 3 years before or like 9 years before or something like that. Like less than a decade. Because you used to like you saw a movie once. And then, you weren't going to see it on TV. Nobody had TVs.
Yeah, it wasn't going to be, it wasn't going to be on TV.
So you could just remake a movie and people would go see it. Because it's like, back then, like you saw a movie, you went to work, you died. That was...
Yeah.
Or you went to work, made the money to see a movie, and then you died. You got caught in a press or something, or a loom. Or there was a runaway, something got you. There's stuff.
After that, there ain't really much on this list. There's another Mechanic movie.
Oh, that's I needed that.
Yeah, this really is the summer of just sequels and remakes.
And it's only like I'm enthused about 3 movies for the summer.
Pretty much, it's going to be a lean summer. I think you put that money towards other things.
And sequels to shit that I'm like. So I might spend the movie rewatching.
It's like Captain America, X-Men, maybe Ninja Turtles. Yeah. That's kind of it. Wow. This really might be the first summer in a long time where movies are going to be coming out and I'm not going to go, I got to go see that. Granted, I don't go see them anyway when I say that, but
Wasn't there another Star Wars movie in the fall or something?
You know what? Where that was supposed to be coming out, did it get bumped? I might have got bumped to. It was supposed to be this summer. I'm going down the list here. November, we got Doctor Strange. December. It moved to December. It's Rogue One. Got bumped from it. It was supposed to be like June, July. It got bumped to December.
Okay.
Which I'm kind of fine with.
Yeah. Well, didn't want to get blown out of the water by Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just kind of a couple angry cocksuckers this whole episode. We were more excited talking about Vehicle of Voltron.
I know. So that's going to have to be next week's show. We're just going to have to talk about like toys of our youth. Anything but Mask.
Yes, anything but Mask.
Anything but Mask. It's like this will be the all toy episode. And speaking of Voltron, they have been putting out like every time I turn around, they're putting out like some new collector's edition of Voltron, and they all just look like garbage.
There was one that came out a few years ago that I saw at Comic-Con, and they had like it was I forget how much money it was. But it was like Comic-Con exclusive. If you bought the whole thing, you got a Sven action figure that went with it too. You need to buy all 5 lions, all 5 pilots, and then you got the 6th pilot, Sven.
You know what? I know the one you're talking about because I saw somebody on YouTube had an unboxing of it, and he would get like everything would get released. It wasn't all released at once. It would be like every month you would get, you would get a new lion, and it would come with the pilot. And it was another one that was just so poorly made. Like shit was, like figures were like, how like the old Star Wars figures would get, and they would get like loose and floppy and shit.
Yes.
After you played with them, these figures were coming out of the package like that. So I haven't seen a good Voltron. I haven't seen a good Voltron since like the die-cast Matchbox one from when we were like 8. But we'll have to talk about that next week. Maybe that will be next week's show. Maybe we'll talk about some of our favorite toys of our youth.
I have been playing old Nintendo. So we can dig around in our mom's attics and talk about shit.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right. Let's wrap this summer movie dog shit episode up.
Yeah, good God, was it a dog shit episode. But so next week's episode will be a little more fun, I think. Maybe we'll have some people on to talk toys. So anyway, we'll wrap it up. So you know where to find us. We're on iTunes. We're on Stitcher. You can check us out at the Channel Z Podcasts.wordpress.com, Facebook.com/Channel Z Podcasts. Email us about toys or to complain about us complaining about Ghostbusters at channelzpodcasts@gmail.com. And we'll see you next week. So I'm Chris.
And I'm Mike.
And this Ghostbusters movie just looks bad.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.